time, but they only had oil for 1 day. And miraculously, the oil lasted 8 days. And I love that story because I feel like, don't you feel like we're running out of fuel all the time sometimes, you know? And that the power that they were drawing on somehow had this infinite power of fuel that is symbolized by the oil that doesn't run out. And I just feel like all of us, we want that oil that doesn't run out. So that's what I'm singing about tonight. So, but we are also entering the season of dark and light. Solstice is coming up. So I want to do a song with you about the light and the singing and our power. It's in your song lyrics. It is a circle of light. It's a call and response. I love this kind of singing. So I sing in a circle of fire, and you sing muted in a circle of fire, and then I sing in a circle of light, in a circle of light, kind of obvious. Then we all sing together if we want. Come together, come to sing, come to this night. But there is an echo. So if some of you want to hang back and just do the echo, do what you want, but that's how it goes. And then if we want to sing together, come on, sisters, come on, brothers, climb aboard and hang out tight. Hang on tight, we're taking flight. And then the people sing, we're taking flight in a circle of light, in a circle of light. Yeah, you got it. All right, let's do it. In a circle of fire, in a circle of light, in a circle of light. Come together, come to sing, come to this night, to this night. Come on, sisters, come on, brothers, climb aboard and hang on tight. We're taking flight in a circle of light, circle of light. When I think of circle of light, I think I was thinking about sitting around a campfire at solstice in the darkest of the dark, and just humans huddled around that fire, making it warm. So that's what we're doing. In a circle of light, in a circle of light, in a circle of peace, in a circle of peace. Leave your troubles at the door and be released, be released. I know every heart is hungry. Come on, welcome to the feast of harmonies, harmonies. In a circle of peace, in a circle of peace. I can tell by your lips moving that you are getting the hang of this. In a circle of peace, in a circle of peace, in a circle of friends, in a circle of friends. You can lay your burden down, start again, start again. No more whispering in the shadows. Come on, join the angel band. Lend a hand, lend a hand. In a circle of friends. All right. In a circle of friends, in a circle of friends. Circle of song, circle of song. Every frog, every sparrow, sing along, sing along. If they told you to be silent, you gotta show them they were wrong. It'll make you strong in a circle of song. In a circle of song, in a circle of song, in a circle of fire, full of fire. Catch the spark, set you blazing with desire, with desire. Every voice can move a mountain, every breath can be a choir. We'll conspire in a circle of fire. I didn't know that conspire is rooted in the Latin for breathing together. So we are a beautiful conspiracy right now. In a circle of fire, in a circle of light, come together, come to sing, come to this night. Let it echo in the valley, let it ring from the mountain height. We're taking flight in a circle of light, circle of light. It'll be all right, it'll be all right. In a circle of light, circle of light. We'll sing all night, we'll sing all night. All together. In a circle of light. Woo! Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I haven't sung that in so long. That is a really old song of mine. What a pleasure. I love it when winter and solstice come around because I have all my favorite songs about dark and light and I can bring them all out. So, welcome again. And I thought a good place to start in terms of the theme of power would be to start with kind of just an internal sense of what do I really believe? If we're talking about truth, what's my truth? What's true for me, regardless of what the world says or any, whatever, all of that. So I want to do a beautiful song with you by Carrie Newcomer called I Believe. And I just learned it like yesterday and I've been practicing and practicing it because I was telling Liz is my co-leader, by the way. Thank you so much, Liz. It's so good to work with you. Um, that I'm not very good at learning other people's songs because mostly I do my own songs and they were created out of my breath, my heartbeat, my way, my sense of rhythm. And this song is a really different sense of where the words fall and where the emphases fall. And it's like, this is hard, but it's such a great song. So pull it out. It's called I Believe by Carrie Newcomer. And I'm going to kind of stumble through it the best I can. And if I do it different than you know it, you're probably right and I'm wrong, but I've got the microphone, so there you go. Okay, so here's how it goes. I believe that there are debts that we can never repay. I believe there are some words we can never unsay. And I don't know a single soul who didn't get lost along the way. I believe in socks and gloves knit out of soft gray wool, and that there's a place in heaven for those who teach in public school. And I know I get some things right, but mostly I'm a fool. I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree. All I know is I can't help but see all of this as so very holy. And that's how the chorus goes. I'd like to do it again so you can all jump in a little more comfortably. Here we go. I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree. All I know is I can't help but see all of this as so very holy. I believe in jars of jelly put up by careful hands. I believe most folks are doing just about the best they can. And I know that there are some things that I will never understand. Next chorus. I believe there's healing in the sound of your voice, and that a summer tomato is a cause to rejoice, and that following a song was never really a choice, never really. Here's the part I know the least of all. Help me out. I believe in a good long letter written. No. I believe in a good long letter written on real paper and with real pen. I believe in the ones I love and know I'll never see again. I believe in the kindness of strangers and the comfort of old friends. And when I close my eyes to sleep at night, that it's good to say amen. I believe that life's comprised of smiles and sniffles and tears, that an old coat that still has another good year. And I know that I get scared sometimes, but all I need is here. Okay, last chorus. Ginger tea. I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree, and that I lost my words, so sorry. Ooh, dang. Come on. I'm going to start that again. Here we go. Okay, I believe in a good strong cup of ginger tea, and that all these shoots and roots will become a tree. All I know is I can't help but see all of this as so very holy, so very holy. I believe. Beautiful, beautiful song. Great. So when we do these evenings, we always have a moment to do two things. One is light a candle, if you have one and want to. And the other is to just have a little bit of quiet, a little bit of meditative space to just more fully arise. I always like to start with song, honestly, but then I do really, really like to have some time to settle in a little bit more and touch into your heart, where you are right now, how you're doing. So if you have a candle and you'd like to light it, and if you'd like to hold it up to the screen for a moment in a little bit of light sharing, that's very sweet. Oh, it looks so warm and beautiful. Cynthia, that's gorgeous. Wow. And if anyone has a menorah, this is, as I said, the first night of Hanukkah, and I guess it's a little after sundown for many of us, most of us, so maybe it's already lit, but it'd be lovely to have a visible menorah on the screen if anybody has one and would like to. Yeah, I know. I think Robin's got one. Anybody else have a menorah? Oh, thank you, Kaya. Beautiful. Can you all see Kaya?
This was my mother's.
It was your mother's? Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Ed, thank you. Look at that. Beautiful candle. Great. Well, it's good to honor the miracle of light, and it's good to honor a people's rebellion. We need both. So, the song I was going to do next is sort of a kind of a real energy shift, but I think I'm going to go for it. So I felt like tonight, as I looked for songs that had to do with truth and power, it was interesting. You'd think there'd be a bunch, but I was having a little trouble finding one that was right on theme. So in the middle of the night last night, I got up and wrote one, and I really enjoy it. So we're going to do it. And I want to thank Robin, who indirectly inspired me, because I'd asked people to send me in songs that had to do with truth. And I think it was you, Robin, that sent me the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Was that you? No, somebody suggested that. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. And that one didn't end up in the final thing. But I took the music and made it my song. So if you want to get out, truth will set you free, or truth will put you through the ringer. That's what you want to find. This is in your song sheets. And again, if you did not get the song sheets, the link is in the chat. And Liz, maybe just be on the safe side, you might want to put it in again, because sometimes the chat gets eaten up. It's funny how that happens. Anyway, so bear in mind, this is a brand new song, so it's not polished. Like, I think there's some lines I'm going to do a little better with, but I haven't quite had the time. Okay, here we go. My favorite part is the chorus. You're going to enjoy it. Everybody ready? It goes like this. Get my capo on here. Okay, the chorus. Glory, glory, hallelujah. They don't have the power to fool will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. Right. So you all know that phrase that maybe you don't. The truth, let's see. So what does it say? The truth will set you free, but first it puts you through the ringer. That was the phrase I remember from decades ago. So that is our chorus. Let's try it together and then we'll sing the song. Glory, glory, hallelujah. They don't have the power to fool ya. Truth will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the dawn. After centuries of myths and lies, this land is founded on. But now a great awakening is finally going on, and the truth will set us free. Glory, glory, hallelujah. They don't have the power to fool ya. Truth will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. I was raised in white supremacy and never knew the name. I knew that there was something wrong. I knew I felt ashamed. But now the light is breaking through. We'll never be the same, for the truth will set us free. Maybe so. Glory, glory, hallelujah. They don't have the power to fool ya. Truth will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. At Standing Rock and Ferguson, in factories and jails, we're speaking truth to power, and we are too big to fail. For the children of our children, may they live to tell the tale that the truth has set us free. Let's do it. Glory, glory, hallelujah. They don't have the power to fool ya. Truth will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. And then just for once, we're going to do just the truth will put you through the ringer. The truth will put you through the ringer. The truth will put you through the ringer. The truth will put you through the ringer, but then it sets you free. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And isn't it great to do a song where you really know the tune and the words just fit right into it? There is something about parodies that I find just magical. They're so much fun to write and they're so much fun to sing. So thank you. If you have any suggestions for improvements on the song, feel free to email me. Don't put them in the chat. That's too public. But you can email me. Okay. Wow. Well, let me just say there's a couple things I've been thinking about that I wanted to just say about the power of truth. And I think it doesn't need to be said, but I want to just say it out loud because sometimes it helps, that I've never seen consensus agreements about truth be destroyed so quickly. I think none of us realized that things could become completely groundless so quickly by a particular neuroses that is, in the White House and the neuroses of those following that. So it's been really hard. It is really hard to see that truth is no longer a consensus. And I, of course, within that, I want to, of course, acknowledge that we don't all share the same truths, that people who grow up poor or of color or LGBTQ in this country are going to have some truths that maybe I don't know about. And some of the things I think are common consensus may not be common to everyone. And yet within that, I think there's some basic agreements we used to have about science and about facts and so forth. So here we are. And so I just am inspired by seeing people who have a very clear understanding of what is true and what is real, and they do something in that spirit in the face of a lie. And some of the things that I've been thinking about, I made a little list of people that come to mind. Not all famous, but some of them are. The first one I want to mention is Ana Maria Arquilla, who was one of the two Latinx women who confronted Senator Jeff Flake in an elevator during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and pinned him to the wall with calling him to an accounting. And the video of these women, if you haven't seen it, just video whatever, something about what I just said, and you'll find it. I just remember watching them like with my jaw dropped and my body shaking, like, this is it. This is it. This is what we can do. This is power. And him watching this guy with the visible senatorial whatever, cowering in the elevator was really powerful. And then there's the wonderful Bree Newsom, the African American woman who climbed a flagpole in one of the southern states. Sorry, I'm not remembering it right now. I think it was South Carolina, and pulled down a Confederate flag. And she just did what she had to do. It's like that nobody was voting on it. Nobody was, it wasn't moving fast enough through the system. So she just took matters in her own hands. I love that kind of thing. I love civil disobedience. I love dramatic actions. So yay, Bree Newsom. So there's individuals, but then there's also groups. And think about the women in Poland who are out in the streets by the thousands resisting the latest draconian abortion law that the government's tried to put through. At one point, a few weeks ago, I think there was 100,000 people out in Warsaw, and they're not stopping, and the government is negotiating. So that to me is the power of solidarity of people, and that's what I'm hoping will happen here more and more, is that people will get together in large numbers to put our bodies out there and put a wrench in the gears or whatever. Talking about that, 250 million farmers, trade unionists, working people in India did a 1-day work stoppage. It's the largest strike in human history recorded. 250 million people. That's 3/4 of the population of the United States. All did a work stoppage. And the farmers are still camped out. They're doing like an occupation in parts of Delhi. And this is against a government that's just another neoliberal right wing, same old, same old. We know the type. So that's incredibly inspiring. Um, and then I think, oh, this one, I just love this one. Did anybody remember watching Senator Mazie Hirono from Hawaii testifying? It was about William Barr. It was something she was grilling William Barr, but in the context of this was a few months ago. She called the inhabitant of the White House, the grifter and liar who sits in the Oval Office. The grifter and liar who sits in the Oval Office. I was blown away. She's like this grandmotherly woman from Hawaii. And we know that grandmothers are fierce. We know that 1,000 grandmothers can do a lot. Anyway, so those are some of my examples. And what I wanted to invite you to do, just as you feel it throughout the evening, if you have either your story from the meditation of a way that you acted with power, and you can put it in the chat in like a short sentence, it'd be cool. If you have another story you want to lift up, another person who's just like, wow, this helped me, or another group, let's put in the chat. Let's start collecting these stories of people power, because that's where the real power is. The last one I want to mention is my mom. When I was in 5th grade, I was an athlete. I was such a tomboy. I don't know if I've said this here, but I've been saying it a lot lately. I know I would have been gender fluid if I'd known that was an option back in the day, because I was super non-binary, but all they had was binary. But I had my little crew cut and everything, and I played football with the boys. I didn't play with the girls, and the school had a rule that the girls stay on the blacktop and play tetherball and hopscotch, and the boys get the field. And I would just go with the boys because they were all my buddies. And the aide would say, "You have to go back on the blacktop." So I went home crying and said to my mom, whatever. She came down to school. She marched into that principal's office and she said, "You have got to let this girl be herself. You have got to let her blah, blah, blah." And so I was the only girl. I didn't know about solidarity then, so I didn't get all the girls to go on strike, but I got to go play with the boys. So yay, mom, one of my power heroes. Okay, so that is my little soliloquy on power. And I think, oh yes, we can do this. I want to sing one of my favorite songs. I started coming of age. Well, I didn't start coming of age. I turned 12, 13, 14, right around the time when a whole bunch of amazing songwriters were coming through. Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes, Joan Baez, Judy Collins. Judy Collins, and then Joni Mitchell came along a bit later. But Dylan was like whomp, whomp on the head. I had just started playing guitar. I had written my first song, which was a civil rights song, because that's what was going on right then. So I want to sing this amazing song that is so relevant, which is The Times They Are Changing. And I thought of it because there's so many verses where he is definitely speaking truth to power, singing it loud and clear. And I know you all probably know it pretty well, so I thought we'd enjoy it. Okay. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it, that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are changing. Sing it out. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. He who gets hurt will be he who has stalled. So true. There's a battle outside, and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command, and your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand, for the time they are changing. And I've been singing this song for over 40 years. And of course, when I sang it, I was a young person. So I so identified with that verse about getting those old folks to either wake up or step back, right? And then I became an old folk, and I had a son, and I hear it differently, but I believe every word of it. I mean, I do my best to stay out of the way, and be on the right side of what's right. I do my best, but I'm sure sometimes my son rolls his eyes at me, and that's okay, part of his job. All right, here we go. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast, and the slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are changing. I want to do that last verse again. That is so powerful. Let's do it. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast, and the slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now that great? I mean, that song is over 40 years old. And I mean, don't you feel it? Don't you feel the power of singing that? And so it's not that it's prophetic. It is prophetic. It's not that it's like, what's the word, prescient, or like he was ahead of his time. He was right on time, but the times are changing, and they're still changing, and God willing they always will be. So when he says the order is rapidly fading, I mean, that is so relevant right now, because the dinosaur is, I believe the dinosaur is on its last leg. But it just, I've never seen a dinosaur die, have you? But in Jurassic Park, did any dinosaurs die in Jurassic Park? Does anybody remember? I picture them with their big tail going whap, 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 kind of like their death throes, and they wipe out a few civilizations while they're at it, you know, and that's sort of how I feel our political dinosaurs are doing. They're doing a hell of a lot of damage on their way out. But anyway, you know what I mean. Peto would have been outraged. Oh, wait a minute, I have to read that. That's interesting. Judith, what by what? By Jurassic Park?
If you hurt a dinosaur.
Oh, if you hurt a dinosaur. Oh, I see.
It would have been
very funny. Okay, wow. I got to tell you, this is amazing. I think I'm ahead of schedule. Wow, that's exciting. Okay. So I have a great treat for you tonight. I'm so happy about this. And I gave you fair warning. Catherine Wanjohi, my dear, dear friend from Kenya, and I got together earlier today on Zoom, and we made a recording. And because, as you know, we're raising funds the last couple of weeks for a project that she's doing for women and girls in Kenya. And I'm going to let her tell you about it. But let me just put her up here. I'm going to screen share her. It's going to be about 8 minutes. So just settle in. This is your movie time, and get your popcorn. And then we'll get back to singing. But I think you're going to really enjoy this. I sure enjoyed doing it with her. So let me get my screen share set up. There we go. So Catherine, it is wonderful to see you right here on Zoom. Welcome, and so thank you so much for joining us for a minute. Many of the people in the audience, so-called tonight, this wonderful group that I sing with on Thursdays, have already heard about you and have heard about Life Bloom, and several of them have already donated to this project you're going to tell us about, because we've been talking about it for a few weeks. But I just wanted them to see your wonderful face and hear your voice and hear you talk about why this project is so important. And just to fill in for a moment the people that haven't met you before through me, Catherine is the director of a women's grassroots organization called Life Bloom International Services. And Catherine is a woman who is speaking truth to power constantly. But I was thinking about how it started, Catherine, and my memory of what you told me is that you had a pretty comfortable career. You were a young school principal, rising star in the education system in Kenya, and had you were maybe working on a social work degree, you had a child or two, and you were in a pretty, comfortable place by local standards, and doing very well. But something hit you on the head and woke you up to something that changed the whole course of your life, which was understanding that some of the women, the mothers of the girls in your school, and a woman who worked for you in your home, were all working in brothels for extra money to feed their children or to keep their daughter's tuition paid. And that was a moment of truth for you. And in that truth, your heart led you to stop the work, leave the principal educational work, and go into Life Bloom work, which involved, as you write in your book, A Walk at Midnight, where you would go into brothels at night and almost literally drag women out and say, I have something better. I have something for you. And you offered counseling and economic development. And out of that grew this amazing women-run organization that has helped over 6,000 women, probably more by now. So that's the background. I just want to fill everybody in. But what we're here today to talk about is the current project you're doing around sanitary supplies for women and girls. So I'm going to hand it over to you, my friend, and let's hear about it.
Thank you very much, Betsy. It's always such a pleasure to just be with you and to be in part of your singing group. I have done that in the US, I've done that in Kenya, and it's just amazing the power of music, the power of singing along, the power of just being together as women and men in this group and being able to support each other. So thank you very much for having me here. Happy to meet the whole group tonight and share just a little bit more about the project that is up and running. Menstrual health is so important for us, not just for the women, but for the girl child, for the girls who are out of school. They were out of school even before COVID-19 came. They were forgotten. They were not receiving services like sanitary towels, like the girls in school normally receive here in Kenya. The girls who have had to be sexually exploited because they could not afford one packet of sanitary towels, which is basically just about $50. With $1, you can buy or they have 2 packets of pads. They could not afford that. They cannot afford that even today. And they sell their bodies to men, some of the men around who will buy the pads for them. And of course, we know that the effects of that, the consequences are not just a loss of self-esteem, self-confidence, in self-worth, self-dignity. It also goes down to that they get married when they're young, or they are not able to even join schools. They become pregnant, they contract HIV, name it, anything. And yet, we are talking about girls who are between 10 years of age and 18 years of age. We are here because we need to support the 283 girls plus come 2021, at least with 2 packets of sanitary towels per month. Those are just about 8 pads, and 2 pieces of underwear after every 4 months, because majority of them even have nothing. They don't wear anything. So you even wonder how they'll use the pads if they received them. And we want to thank those who have already donated and asking for more donations towards actually supporting one girl with that gift pack, which has 4 packets of sanitary pads for 2 months and 1 or 2 pieces of underwear, and bring back the smile and education and awareness on how to manage their menstrual health and just feel proud as women waiting to get to 18 years and above, be able to step out into that space of relationships, into the space of marriage and children, and whatever it is that they choose, not feeling ashamed of their past, but proud that somebody stood with them, walked with them in that space.
And you have a fundraiser tomorrow, right? You have a big event, and probably some of these girls are going to come to it, yeah?
And the girls will be reciting poems. We have 5 boys also, one of who will be reciting poems. They have, grown up, and because of working with the girls, they have decided and chosen that they are going to be champions for girls' menstrual health.
Wow.
That's the boys.
You are leading the way in Kenya. You are. I know that people in this room with me right now are like, "Are you kidding? Boys are championing menstrual health." This is. Thank you. So, Catherine, we're gonna wrap up and do some singing, and we're gonna sing the Life Bloom song, which you may remember. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. Can you just sing a little bit of it? Because I want to hear you. Would you mind as a closing?
I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. Just wait and see.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
right?
That's the way to go.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you. I love you. And I know everyone watching you right now is loving you. And I know that we're going to be able to make a lot of difference for these girls and women. And we're excited to do that, and grateful for the opportunity to reach out to women and girls around the world in ways that are both small, seem very small, but are huge. And you really told us the huge impact that this can have. So thank you so much, my friend. And I'll see you tomorrow on Zoom for the concert and the fundraising benefit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Lots of love. Lots of love to everybody. Thanks so much.
Oh, well, that's Catherine. Yeah, pretty wonderful. Thanks. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed that, as much as I enjoyed doing it with her. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so we'll talk about donations in a minute, but we've been talking too much. So Life Bloom, you don't need words for this. This is so fun. Here's how it goes. I wrote this for them when I was there. I went there 4 years ago. I spent 2 weeks with these women of Life Bloom. Amazing experience, you can imagine. Wrote many songs for them and with them. This is one of them. I am alive. You can't keep me down. I'm gonna bloom in solid ground. This is my life. This is my precious seed. I'm gonna bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. Try that part. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I am a woman. You can't keep me down. I'm gonna bloom in the solid ground. This is my life. This is my precious seed. I'm gonna bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I am a, oh boy, the women made up so many great verses. I am a beauty, which was actually really important because so many of the women who are of Life Bloom all are former sex workers or survivors of domestic abuse. And so feeling beautiful is not really in their repertoire. In fact, one of their favorite songs was How Could Anyone Ever Tell You You Were Anything Less Than Beautiful? They love that song. We might sing that if we have time. So, I am a beauty. You can't keep me down. I'm gonna bloom in solid ground. This is my life. This is my precious seed. I'm gonna bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I have my power. You can't keep me down. I'm gonna bloom in the solid ground. This is my life. This is my precious seed. I'm gonna bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. I'm gonna bloom, bloom, bloom. You just wait and see. Oh yeah. We loved singing that together, as you can imagine. And they added so many great verses. So let's sing. Well, I'll just say one thing about donations. So the way to donate, and Liz has put this in the chat or will put this in the chat, is either through PayPal or through snail mail. Either's fine. But this particular week, if and when you can donate, and I understand that we are all in really different financial positions, so please do not feel pressure or any guilt if you feel like you just can't do it. Don't worry about it at all. But if you can, earmark your donation somehow with the words Life Bloom, so I will know that this is for the Life Bloom project. If you want to also make a donation to support the event, to support my work, whatever, that's great, but that's not the main thing right now at all. So I just really appreciate you. And I want to tell you, every now and then I go to my P.O. box and it has the most beautiful cards from some of you. You snail mailers, you know who you are, and little messages and very generous donations. And I'm just so moved that in these times, these really not great economic times, and women are usually on the underside of the economy anyway, that you are able to be as generous as you can be, and it just touches my heart deeply. Not to mention watching PayPal just kind of fill up from time to time. And some of you came to the November 14th post-election event with Melanie DeMore and Eve Decker and Kate Munger. We raised, gosh, how much was it? Well over $2,000 for the New Georgia Project, which is supporting the recount in Georgia, and paying the artists. I mean, we did pay the artists, of course. That's really important. But I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us for wanting to put our money where our mouth is. That's another form of power. And I think right now in Georgia, folks, today, there is a major lawsuit going on that the ACLU is arguing, among others, about those 200,000 voters that were purged from the voting registration completely fraudulently by the government. And it's completely obvious that it was fraudulent. So fantastic lawyers are in court fighting that as we speak. I can't wait to find out what happens. So this is a good time to pour some money into Georgia if you can. The New Georgia Project is a great place to donate because they're working so hard to get people out. Okay, all that said, here's the perfect song for that little pitch. It is by Pat Humphreys of Emma's Revolution. Many of you know Pat for just the amazing songs she writes. But this one is an early one of hers. It's called We Will Rise. It's in your music, I'm sure. And
it's called Common Thread.
Thank you, Common Thread. Oh, I was looking in my own menu going, where is it? Where is it? It's because it's called Common Thread. Thank you. Was that Madge keeping track of me? Whoever it was, thank you. Okay. Raise your hand. I'm interested. Raise your hand if you know Pat Humphreys and Emma's Revolution. I just want to take a look at kind of how well. Oh yeah, they're quite known. They're local. They didn't used to be. They were East Coast, or at least Pat was. I knew Pat back in Boston when we were both young, starting out singers. I was a few years ahead of her, and I remember my farewell concert in Boston when I was kind of a big name in the small pond out there. And so we had this pretty big concert with, 700-800 people. And she was my quote opening act. And she was so good. She was so good. And we had such a good time. And I just looked at her with a little bit of that elder sister feeling of like, this girl's going somewhere. And boy, she sure has. So I'm going to try to get her and Sandy, Emma's Revolution, to come sing with us. I'm thinking maybe the first event in January. It seems like that'd be an awesome time to have their energy in the room. Meanwhile, here we go. You may not know this, but the chorus is just so easy and so beautiful. And it's got a lot of repetition. Like if you look at your lyrics, you see how many times the phrase, we will rise all together, we will rise happens. So if you just get that, you'll be very happy singing along. In a many-colored garden, we are growing side by side. We will rise all together, we will rise. With the sun and rain upon us, not a row shall be denied. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics, made from strands of common thread, we will rise all together, we will rise. I'm not even going to repeat it because it comes around several times and I know you got it already. We can feed our grain to cattle and the rich one will be fed. We will rise all together, we will rise. Or we'll feed our grain to people so that millions will have bread. We will rise all together, we will rise. Let's sing it. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. No more will there be hunger in these strands of common thread. We will rise all together, we will rise. Sorry, I gotta move my words again. Oops, looks like I'm missing a verse. Oh well. Sorry, I'm missing a verse, so we're going to go on to it from our children to our elders. From our children to our elders, From all nations we will rise. We will rise all together. We will rise. With justice as our compass and the truth our guiding light, we will rise all together. We will rise. We will rise like the ocean. We will rise like the sun. We will rise all together. We will rise. We will build a global family, strengthened by our common threads. We will rise all together. We will rise. We will rise all together. We will rise. But you know what? I am loving these songs tonight. I don't know if it's just because I'm in a good mood, but golly, yeah. And there was so many I couldn't do. Robin sent me several great suggestions, and I sort of was already kind of in my groove for what I was going to do. But thanks so much to anybody that sent a suggestion. I'm always open to suggestions, requests. I enjoy doing requests. I'm happy to do it. So I think I'll just make a couple of announcements and then we'll sing one more song. Next week is going to be Twilight and Lullabies, and I'm very happy to be doing it. I love that program. And The Dark and the Light is going to be the theme. It is inching towards solstice, and it's also inching toward my birthday. I'm a December baby, and my birthday is December 23rd. So I have a song I always sing on my birthday. So I'll be sharing that and some poems. And it's just a really sweet, the energy of Twilight and Lullabies is pretty low key. It's quieter. Lullabies says it all, really. And there's more poetry. And it's very restful and sweet. And if any of you have children or grandchildren, I have a couple of really lovely songs that are great for children. You'll love them too, but that have to do with darkness and light. And I thought I'd do them right at the beginning. So if you want to bring your little ones for the first 15 minutes or so, more than welcome. And then I'm really excited. I decided to do a third one this month because it's a 5 Thursday month. And the fifth Thursday is New Year's Eve. And at first I thought, well, I'm not going to do anything New Year's Eve. Everybody's going to be partying. And then I thought, oh, no, they're not. They're all going to be sheltering at home. So as an act of kindness and generosity, let's get together and sing. I'm going to do it at 5 o'clock. Listen up, East Coast sweeties. It's 5 o'clock. That means 8 o'clock your time. And it's going to be family friendly. And I've got some pretty fun ideas for what to do. Not all of it's going to be family friendly, but what I mean is, again, children coming at the beginning is and light is returning. Barbara is saying, absolutely, that's in the hopper waiting to be sung. So anyway, so there's that. And then, as I said, I already talked about Georgia, so we've got that covered. So before we sing our last song, no, I think we'll sing the last song and then we'll do a few blessings. And I did mention, how could anyone ever tell you? And I know everybody we either love that song or we're sick of it, right? Because it's so sung, but I don't see anybody saying they're sick of it. So it's a remarkable song. It's one of those songs that's incredibly simple and has gone around the world and been sung everywhere. And it's by Libby Roderick, who used to live in Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm not sure she's still there. And as I understand the story, she wrote it for, I believe, her sister. And I believe her sister was coming out as a lesbian and was getting a lot of flack for it. I could be wrong, but I believe this is the story. Forgive me if I've got it all botched up. So she wrote this song to tell her sister, how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? It's such an incredible message. As I say, we sang it so much at Life Bloom too. Women whose self-esteem had been broken, whose sense of dignity had been broken, and it was being rebuilt in a context of women coming together and supporting each other. So I'm happy to do this tonight. Let's see, I have to remember how to do it. Okay. So I didn't put the words because I didn't know I was going to do it, but it's, how could anyone ever tell you, maybe somebody can put it in the chat, you were anything less than beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Ari, I see what you put in the chat. Does it fit the melody?
Yeah, somebody actually taught it to me, but I haven't been able to find it online since. But yeah, it's the same rhythm.
I think I can't quite pull it off on short notice, but everybody
No worries.
save the chat. Do you know how to save the chat, folks? Just go down, just click on, I forget how you do it. Click on chat. Oh yeah, click on chat. 3 little dots at the bottom on the right. Click on them. It says save chat. It saves it to your Zoom app. That's where it is, in your Zoom app, for what that's worth. Just say it. But what I can do is sing you a verse that I wrote to it. And I remember that I wrote it when I was singing on behalf of midwives. There was a time when I was really advocating, I still am, but really advocating for midwives who were being threatened in Berkeley with having their hospital rights taken away. They used to be able to accompany births at Alta Bates Hospital here at Berkeley, and then there was a threat to withhold that. So there was a demonstration. They asked me to sing. I wrote my song, Call a Midwife, which I'll sing some night. But I remember singing this one and then writing this verse. I'll try to remember. So let's sing the chorus again. How could anyone ever tell you you're anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And this was for the midwives, but I think when you hear it, you could imagine it being for a whole lot of other folks. Hold on to the work that you've been given. Stand fast to the work you've taken on. Hold on to the ones who've gone before you. Stand up. You are not alone. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Ooh, I just had an idea. You know how sometimes we've done this thing where we hold our hands out to the edge of our screen so that we hold hands with each other? Try doing that. Because if you hold as if you were holding hands, just like you were in a circle, and you look, you'll see that somebody next to you is probably reaching out and holding your hand as well. Great. I see I'm holding hands with Linda. I'm holding hands. Liz, where are you? There's Liz. Okay, I'm holding hands with Liz. So we're holding hands now. And then if you want to, just look at the person to your right or the person to your left and sing it to them. Sing it to each other. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Oh, well, I can't think of a better way to have ended. Wow. So we've done it again. Somehow we just do this magic every now and then. So appreciative of you. I'm so appreciative of not being too zoomed out and singing along in strange circumstances from all over the country. You East Coast people, deep bows. And why don't we just unmute and kind of bless each other? Say goodbye, blessings, whatever, and I'll be on. Ever tell you you were anything